There's a question here, kind of, which is out of topic. So, okay, there's a question about driving demons from people. So, driving demons from people. Well, we'll move on to this topic now. So we've considered, I think, the day text sufficiently. So I guess the question I would have is, why would you think you cannot drive out a demon? Right? I mean, because in the Bible we read regularly about Jesus and his followers using his name to drive out demons. So what do I think about these ministries? Well, a lot of these ministries that are sort of like, you'll get these videos of people talking to their parishioners as if they're possessed and they're acting really crazy and all this stuff. That's not what demon possession and exorcism is about. That's a show. They're just putting on a show. Well, it may be real demon possession, who knows, but why are they showing that to us? The only reason they would be showing that to us is to glorify themselves. A real Christian who is faced with a real demon-possessed person does not turn the camera on. Does not try to get as many people as possible to witness what's happening. You just address the demon in the power of Jah and Jesus, and that's it. They're not going to be able to deal with it. I almost never encounter demons in that way because they know. Most demons know who you are. If not all of them. They knew who Paul was. They know who you are. They're not going to just open themselves up to you expelling them in ways that are going to create a problem, especially if the Father becomes aware of what they're doing in a way that, even though he knows all things, now his attention is on those demons because you're there. What did the demons do when Jesus was there? They were terrified, right? They were terrified that he was going to destroy them and that their time had come. But Jesus, he knows who they are. He knows the pathetic condition they're in. And that's why when they asked to be released into the pigs, he let them. Because if they weren't, they might have been disembodied in some way. That they might have had, this is getting into a little metaphysical speculation here, but if you look at the account, why did they plead with him to go into the swine? Because there was something about not being in anything that was a problem for them. And Jesus was casting them out of the man, the legion. But they didn't want to just be out. They wanted to be in something material. And so that's why they asked to go into the swine, and he let them. See, Jesus, he obviously doesn't approve of what they're doing. But sending them into a herd of pigs, and obviously isn't damaging another human in Jah's image. And what did they do? They just ran off the cliff, so they couldn't even handle that. But it was better for them to be in the pigs than to be in nothing or no physical form at all. So maybe there's some difficulty that they have in getting into these human beings or other physical forms. But as a Christian, you have authority. You are able to, you won't be in those kind of situations. The things you see in the TV and the churches and all that crazy yelling and stuff. Do you see that in the New Testament? I mean, you see sometimes the demons calling out and yelling, but I don't see Paul, Peter, or Jesus reacting in the crazed kinds of ways that you see the people today acting. They just calmly and directly address the demon. And then it stops or becomes different in some way that isn't the insanity you see, what seems like real insanity in some of these churches. But who knows? If they're expelling demons, so be it. That's, let them do what they're called to do. If they're not, remember, Jesus said that people would tell him in the day when he comes, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not cast out demons in your name? And what does Jesus say to them? Get away from me. I never knew you. So we are not to use the expulsion of demons as an evidence that people are Christian. People can expel demons just by using Jesus' name. And remember, Jesus' followers reported back to Jesus that they encountered others who were using his name to expel demons. And he said what? Don't stop them. Whoever is not against me is for me, or whoever is not against you is for you. So the power of Jah and Jesus goes beyond approved Christians in order to deal with demons, because it's just that they hate that power and the association of Jah and Jesus. They don't want that. They want the darkness. The demons don't want you calling the Father to their presence. That's the last thing they want, because they know if the Father comes, I mean, what would happen if you had a bunch of children and they were at a place doing a bunch of bad things? Do you think they would want someone to call their father? Someone shows up at let's say a house party or something, a bunch of related kids are doing a bunch of bad things, and someone else comes in and they're like, well, I'm going to call your dad. And they get on the phone, they start calling the kid's dad. They'd be like, no, 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 no. That's how the demons are with Jah, okay? They do not want the Father coming down to them. No, no. That would be very, very bad for them, but very, very good for us. So they get their time. Let them have it. Remember those accounts. Remember what Jesus said. They can expel demons, even if they're totally rejected by Jesus, at the power of the name. But that's not going to save them. So I would highly recommend that you follow the examples of Jesus, Peter, Paul, and others who expelled demons. Do so directly, reasonably. If you're faced with a situation you think might involve a demon, they will know you. They're not totally retarded. They just are choosing bad ways like many of us do at times, and they that's what they want. But they know who you are, or they find out pretty quickly. And if you start talking about Jah and Jesus, they're out of there. They're not going to stay around while you start calling down the Son and the Father. That's the last thing they want. So you're not likely going to have extended involvements with demon-possessed people. They're not going to want to be around you. But if they are, you know what to do. You stand tall, you speak confidently, and you call down Jah to assist you and address the demon. And I guarantee you, before you even finish speaking, that demon will be out of there. They don't want Jah to come around. So call Jah down. Speak to the Father and to the Son. And believe me, the demon will run.